9 years ago, a game was released that put the stamp on what a next generation game could be. That game was Gears of War for the Xbox 360. Now in 2015, we have the Coalition's remastered version in all its testosterone-filled glory. If you haven't played Gears of War, then you're either crazy, or you're just lucky enough to get to experience it for the first time. Gears of War is set in a time after Emergence Day, an event that changed life forever on planet Serra, when the Locust Horde burst from beneath the planet's surface to wipe out anyone that isn't one of them. It's up to the coalition of ordered governments and their gears to fight back against the Locust and try reclaim their way of life. After years of war, not much civilization remains in one piece as the world has been torn asunder from endless conflict. With Marcus Phoenix and his band of brothers, you will follow their journey of survival against General Rahm's forces. When the original Gears of War was released, it not only showed everyone that next gen had arrived, but it set the standard for all third-person shooters to follow. I took it upon myself to play through my original copy of the game before Gears Ultimate released. I wanted to get a fresh feel for what Gears was 9 years ago, and appreciate all the improvements and changes for this new release. I must say I'm happy I did so, as I have a wealth of appreciation for Gears of War Ultimate Edition that I could have missed out on had I not played through the original game beforehand. Make no mistake, this is still the original Gears of War, just better. The movement system feels just as free-flowing and responsive as Gears of War 3. It also appears that they've used the Gears of War 3 AI. The Locusts are much more reactionary and cunning than in the original game. This remaster essentially brings us everything that was polished in Gears of War 3 and puts it into the first Gears campaign.
Nice.
That's not all. They rebuilt all 3,000 game assets and textures for the Ultimate Edition, and it truly shows. The lighting is phenomenal and sets the dark and dire mood incredibly well. I've played through the original version so many times now that playing the Ultimate Edition with these eyes, I found myself constantly taking the time to enjoy the visuals.
Yeah, that was beautiful, baby.
Dark areas are filled with rich shadows. Ruined townships filled the screen with a colour palette so vibrant yet simultaneously worn. Gears of War's art style was centrally described as a destroyed beauty, which flows through even more so with this remaster. Even going down into the depths below the surface where the Locusts regroup, these environments truly stand out. The way the lighting and colours have been utilised down here brings a further sense of fear and claustrophobia I originally didn't quite feel. It's amazing how updating this game's graphics and art direction has improved so much of this experience. The cutscenes have all been recaptured and reimagined, which makes the game feel even more cinematic. Faces show more character and expressions you can believe, which give the story more impact. Liberty was even taken in addressing some inconsistencies with the story and continuity. For avid Gears fans like myself, this was a real treat to look out for and shows a true love for the franchise from the Coalition. One thing to note is that they've reinserted the missing chapters from the Xbox 360 version of the game. The PC version had exclusive chapters that I had never played until now, and to my great delight. It really pulls that section of the game together, which felt to be a very jarring progression in the game. No spoilers, but this satisfied a part of me as a fan that's bothered me for 9 years that I've always felt ripped off about. This 9-year-old game holds up next to some of the most recent games of this generation, especially with its new look of paint and control adjustments. As a massive Gears of War fan, I feel like I'm playing this game again for the first time. It's so good.
Oh shit, this is gonna be awesome.
I played the multiplayer beta, which even at the time was solid and worked a treat. Now with the full release multiplayer out for everyone to chainsaw each other to bits, I haven't experienced much, if any, lag or matchmaking issues at all. Gears of War multiplayer is very much unto its own, something so very satisfying about it that I don't even care much if I'm killed 5 seconds after spawning or not. I have so many fond memories of Gears of War multiplayer that the nostalgia is very real. There are as many improvements to the multiplayer as there can be found in the campaign, so it doesn't feel dated at all and brings it onto a modern level. The game isn't completely bug-free, however. Yes, I am not a raving fanboy wearing rose-tinted glasses. There were many instances in my playthrough where my AI partner kept getting stuck somewhere far behind me and just not engaging in combat at all. Also, there were moments where my partner would chainsaw a locust and the chainsaw sound would just keep playing for minutes afterwards in a loop. Or randomly, Anya's voice would just say something inaudible in combat out of nowhere. They are just minor nitpickings, but overall, breathing new life into an almost decade-old game, I could but only tip my hat to the Coalition for a mighty fine job indeed. Gears of War Ultimate Edition is a true love letter to fans of the franchise. With improved controls over the original, and an amazing facelift that proves the original concept is as strong as ever. With Gears of War 4 on the horizon, the Coalition have even stated they want to take Gears back to its roots. So if this is any indication of where they're taking us, I'm all on board. I've got my cog tags ready. If you've never played Gears of War, now is the best time to do it. If you pick up this version of the game before December 2015, you get free downloadable copies of the original 4 games to play on Xbox backwards compatibility. 5 games for under $50. That's an insanely great deal. Not only that, you get beta access to Gears of War 4 in the new year. If I were you, I would be roadie running out to grab my copy ASAP and load it up to start shredding grubs in all its remastered splendor. This is one of Xbox's best franchises. It's time you introduce yourself to it again.
There, turn that shit off.